Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I just had a little trouble setting up the camera, so I'm smiling like this now because it's better. I wanted to talk a little bit about life on social media. Social media is so different than it was when I got on it 5 years ago, and I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And not when I got on social media, because I've been on Facebook and I had MySpace before that, and I just remember before I started making videos, and actually it's almost 6 years at this point, because we're closer to December than we aren't. Well, closer to the next December than we are to the last, let's put it that way. Yeah, so in a couple of months we'll have 6 years that's going on YouTube, starting our 7th year. So 7's always been a lucky number for me, so let's see how that goes. But this isn't about the haters. This isn't about people who just want to start arguments or that I have to prove anything to or whatever. It's really just about like how we've lost touch. We've lost touch with our humanity often, with reality more often than not, with actual socializing as opposed to socializing over social media. Now, granted, social media started with its intentions of being a great way for others to meet. For example, I met my husband over a form of social media. It was in a chat room, and that was sort of a social sort of meeting place. And that was 23 years ago. But things have changed so much just in the last 6 years, as I was mentioning. I think apps like TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram. Now, Instagram was around 6 years ago, but it wasn't like it is now, 6 years ago. And actually, is it even like it was 2 years ago? Like, it's changed so much in the last 2 years. And I just feel like we've lost touch with ourselves a lot on here. Who we are, our accountability towards ourselves, to our human race, to our other human beings. We have the anonymity of, we have the shield of being anonymous to protect us from presenting our true selves, our right selves, our free selves. And then somebody like me who comes on here and I hide very little from you, kind of like gets caught in a whirlwind. So many people are not putting their real selves out there that it's just assumed by a lot of people that everybody's like that. And it's a bad assumption, in my opinion, because it's sort of that whole throwing the baby out with the bathwater thing, Because there are shysters out there, does that mean everybody's a shyster? Because there are people who abuse welfare, does that mean there should be no welfare? Because people abuse their reproductive rights. Some people might feel like it's, abuse of their reproductive rights, then we'll take it away from everybody. It's not even just about like a cancel culture. It's really just about not having accountability for yourself and not really paying attention to everything. We have extremes in the other direction, like we can't take away everybody's guns despite the fact that people are using them to kill each other every day in a way that's not seen anywhere else in the world. So, like, that type of thing. And, capitalism is great unless you're abusing your workers and X, Y, and Z. So there's extremes in both directions, to be honest. Some people think because a person's a millionaire and they might have had the advantage of going to school and not having to work while they're going to school. Some people have worked their way to the top. I'm not trying to deny that ever. I know that there's plenty of people out there who have worked very, very hard. But there's also many, many, many more silver spoon children than we ever want to admit to ourselves. We think everybody who's successful has worked hard. And I know for a fact, I can tell you that that is not true because I know dozens personally. But that being said, we often think that like a person who's oh, hold on a second. Sorry about that. Mom just came home. She was out all day and she's just checking in. So I was saying, we often think a person who's financially successful, a billionaire, a millionaire, works harder than somebody who pushes a broom at McDonald's and works on their feet for 12 hours or whatever. And I understand that, maybe going to college is hard work for some people, or, it's a whole, I'm not trying to say that education isn't important, but not everybody was afforded the opportunity to get an education. Some people just weren't gifted smart enough to get scholarships. They weren't gifted sports enough, or talented enough in sports to get scholarships. They weren't, fortunate enough. Their parents couldn't afford it. There's just so many people like that fall through the cracks that you don't even realize, Taking out student loans isn't an option because their credit might be in the tank because they never had a credit card, because they never owned a car. Their parents never owned a house. It's just stuff you just don't even realize is out there if it's not your experience. So we often talk about who works harder. Who works harder? The janitor, who cleans up after the millionaire, or the millionaire, the housekeeper who takes care of the mansion, and the lady who runs the mansion. Who works harder, and who's more successful? And that part is, also something that is left open to interpretation. So you hear a lot these days, are you successful? Some people find success is happiness in their job. Some people find success is in getting up and getting dressed every day. Some people find success as being independently wealthy or independently financially stable, or some people think success is getting through a week with a little extra money in your pocket. It's all just a matter of perspective, and it's all a matter of opinion, and we all have our own. We all have our own experiences, so we all have our own perspectives, and we all have our own upbringing, so we all have our own opinions, and we each have our own mind and spirit, so obviously we're all very different. I think the worst thing we do as a society is compare ourselves to others. We do a lot of that. And I think in that we lose the individual. Am I me if I try to be somebody else? If I spend my entire adult life trying to be better than my neighbor, am I forgetting to be me? That type of thing. I always felt that whatever I did for a job, it was going to be to help people. And it was. I actually never had a job where I didn't help people. Even when I ran the movie theater, that was customer service. I was the ticket taker, ticket booth, worked behind the food counter and threw parties. And, there was nothing that I did in my career that wasn't helping people. And I look at YouTube as just the same. I look at it as yes, I'm helping people. It's not all customer service, particularly when I was at the grocery store, or like I said, when I managed the movie theater. But, it's helping people nonetheless, whether it's a nursery school or AHRC or the police department, whatever little job that I had, even at the post office, it was just helping people. That's the way I looked at my life. That's the way I looked at it. So to me, my life has been successful because I've done something. Every job that I've had has been to help people. I've made friendships. Most are acquaintances at this point. I consider them people I worked with, and I can call them up and catch up if I want to. I've had those kinds of relationships before. or see them on social media and just message back and forth for a little while and how's everything going and catch up that way. But to me, that's success. To others, it's not. So I really feel that it's super important as a society that we try to give our fellow man a little bit of grace. Don't spend your precious time on this earth comparing yourself to others. And don't waste any of your precious time on earth worrying about how others compare you to others. And I know that that sounds like redundant or repetitive speak, but don't spend your time worrying about what people say. You are just like so-and-so, or you should be just like so-and-so, or you're nothing like so-and-so. Okay, you're right, I'm not. I don't want to be like so-and-so. I'm me, I'm my own person. I want everybody to find what draws them in. If I'm not the social media influencer that draws you in, then there is plenty more that will. You'll find somebody who's like you and who you like and who'll draw you in and make you part of their community. No matter what your interests are, no matter what your philosophical or theological standpoint on life is, or lack thereof, whatever your morality is, whatever your desires are to achieve in life, you'll find somebody who is like-minded, because you can, if you look hard enough. Trust me, they're out there. I was 28 and 11 months when I met 28, 11 months and 21 days when I met 20 days when I met my husband on the internet. And to this day, I can look back and say, I didn't think I was going to ever meet anybody that clicked with me. And it wasn't that I didn't think I was pretty or that I didn't think I was worthy. It was really that I had a different viewpoint on life than the people who lived in the area around me. I had a different vision of what I wanted for myself and a different way of thinking than the people around me. And I just didn't think I'd ever find anybody. And the few people that I had chatted with on social media, not necessarily on that particular chat room, because that was the first time in that particular chat room, they all wanted, something sinister almost, something inappropriate, or to get money or a green card or something, for you to be, I don't know how to say it, just to get stuff from you. And, that's why I was not jaded necessarily, but I was, wasn't really expecting any of that to come to fruition. But I was pleasantly surprised that it did. So that's how I know that if you look long enough and hard enough and be patient enough, that you'll eventually find somebody who has a similar viewpoint or like-mindedness or goal in life, or that you'll click with, It may not be me. It may not be on YouTube. It may be on TikTok or Instagram or WeGo, or, you name the social media app, you might find somebody there. So just keep trying. If you're not comfortable here on this platform with me, then just keep trying. You'll find somebody who aligns with you spiritually, emotionally, entertains you in the way that you want to be if you're coming here for entertainment. There's been a conversation I was having in the comments about somebody said I wasn't inspirational. I said, well, being inspirational is a very personal thing. I said, that's like having an opinion. It's very personal. It's a matter of perspective. I might not inspire you, but you really can't speak for the world. And if I'm inspirational to one person, that's all that really matters. I mean, like I've already said, I've encouraged women who've reached out to me to do things that they never thought they would do, and go to doctors and seek help. And my job here is done. I don't have to do this anymore if I don't want to. I feel like I've done enough. If I ever wanted to stop, I could at least say I did it with, with my head held high. I'm not going anywhere, but that's, So, the thing I've been noticing in the last few days is even people who aren't trying to be upsetting. I've been very emotional, and I'm finding I don't read things into comments. I'm just not able to hold myself up like I do on a regular basis. My treatment this time is having a different taxing. I've got other stuff going on in my life that is very occupying of my mind, and trying to get things done, and my spiritual being and my physical body have been at odds, worse this week than ever. My physical body seems more capable, but then wants to be more tired and in more pain. So it's kind of like a delicate balance of trying to figure out exactly what I should be doing, and when, and for how long. What I want to do is sort of build bridges, and what my body is allowing me to do is build foundations of bridges, but my spirit is gluing together popsicle stick bridges, if you know what I mean. Hopefully that makes sense. So like it rotates every day, Sometimes my spirit wants to build bridges and my body's at the popsicle stage, and today I'm in bed vlogging because I had a sort of a rough afternoon with the chemo. I had a good morning. Did things this morning because, you got to do things. I worked editing videos. I actually shot a video the other day. It was a video request, and I threw the whole thing in the garbage. A little disappointed. My mind was so preoccupied with other things. I had mistaken it for something else that I had shot that same day. So I don't know if the inspiration will come to me to have the same exact video, but obviously I'm going to do my best. What's hard about shooting a video in this particular one was somebody asked me about more stories about my mom raising all the kids, is I'm not going to remember what stories that I told in that video that got thrown out as opposed to stuff that I've told you previously. So, I know this is going to sound dumb, but say, for example, when we were talking on Mother's Day, I talked about the taco story. I want to say the taco story. And then the other day I shot a video and I said, well, I already told the taco story. Let's tell the steak story. Well, when I go to shoot this video again, I'm not going to remember what was the first video that actually got published, the steak story or the taco story, because I'll just remember talking about it. And I know that sounds dumb, and if I had just watched it before I deleted it, at least I could get a refresher, but obviously I don't have it anymore, so I can't watch it. It's just so frustrating. Doing this job while I'm going through what I'm doing is another level of difficult. And doing it by myself is sometimes feels impossible. Like, I wish that I made enough money to hire somebody to be my assistant, or manager, somebody who could do the things that I can't, and help me do the things that I can. I just feel like I want to scream sometimes, I just want to stand on the front lawn and just be like, I need help. So anyhow, it's going to be okay. I don't want you to think any of this was negative or complaining, because it really wasn't. It was just me trying to share with you guys about, like, let's not lose ourselves out there on social media. I'm not asking anybody to decide what's fake and what's real, whatever. Just don't lose yourself in the process. That's the only thing that you can control, is how you react to the social media. You cannot control what anybody puts out there, but all you can do is control how you react to it. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor, try not to lose yourself in the process, because you're the only one of you we've got. Okay? All right. I love you. All the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. I love you all, because there isn't anything that anybody has ever done to me, for me, near me, by me, around me, that will ever get me to stop loving them. I might not like them, but I will definitely love them. And I pray to Jesus in their name every day. So if nobody's told you today that you're loved, you can always come by and hear how much I love you, because I do very much. And as always, you guys, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.